Munster champions Cork begin their quest to make it 3 provincial titles on the bounce very shortly. They take on a Tipperary side trying to ensure they don't make it 2 early summer exits in a row. Throw in a Porky Queeve not too far away. John Myler claimed a Munster title in his first year in charge of Cork and came agonisingly close to an All-Ireland final. Liam Sheedy is back in charge of Tip 9 years after leading them to All-Ireland glory. We'll be hearing from our commentary team at Porky Queeve, Michael Dignan and Marty Morrisley shortly, but first both managers are with Claire McNamara.
John, you've won the last 2 Munster championships. The battle to get out of Munster about to start again in earnest. No doubt you'll be eager to get that all-important first win under your belt, especially here at home. Certainly
the first match is important, that you get off to a good start, and today's match is going to be really competitive against Tipperary, so puck of the ball between most teams in Munster, so that's really it. So we're expecting hard, tough competitive game today.
We're very well prepared coming to Cork. Claire, obviously under no illusions in terms of the size of the challenge that lies ahead. Cork have been the team in Munster for the last 2 years, going for 3 in a row. But from our perspective, we've prepared extremely well. The lads have put in a superb effort. So in that respect, I guess we're really looking forward to today.
You've got a newcomer in your defence, Niall O'Leary. How's he going to fare against that experienced tip attack?
Niall has experience. He's won 2 counties with Immakill. He's played cornerback with UCC. He was with the under-21s last year, so a young player, starting off in his championship debut, and good place for him to start in Páirc Uí Chaoimh against Tipperary, and we'll see what he's made of. So it's an opportunity for him.
The statistics say that most of these matches are won by the home team, so it's a tough place to come to get a result. But from our point of view, I'm expecting a big performance from our lads today. They've really worked hard. Obviously, we were knocked out in the league at the quarter-final stage. Since then, it's been full-on preparation for championship. Lads have, as I said, put in serious effort, and really, the first day out today, we'll know where we are by 6 o'clock today, and I'm very confident of a big performance from my team.
Good afternoon and welcome to Páirc Uí Chaoimh. A massive crowd, a wonderful atmosphere, over 30,000 people here looking forward to Cork and Tipperary. I'm joined by Michael Dignan. You're delighted to be with you, Michael, but it's going to be interesting. The Munster champions look a little bit inexperienced, which is a strange thing to say, while Tipperary with Liam Sheedy have gone for experience, haven't they?
He's shown huge loyalty in the players that have been with him. A lot of them there from his last term, and he's made no changes. He said to lads, I trust you. You pay me back today, and he seems very bullish there and confident. Cork have all the pace up front, but look, the contrast in styles, but I just think Tipperary might come out on top.
And very briefly, Noel and Cadigan, that's a big loss to Cork.
Massive loss to Cork, fantastic player, but Niall O'Leary coming in for his first game too, and he'll be tested, but look, it should be a fantastic occasion.
Oh, we look forward to it. Let's take a check on the 2 teams. Cornerback Niall O'Leary is the big talking point here in Cork, as he is a championship debutant for the Rebels. He didn't play any league game whatsoever, but he did win a Fitzgibbon Cup medal with UCC. 32-year-old Owen Cadigan now takes over the troublesome full-back position, with Tim O'Mahony clearly established as first-choice centre-back. Dara Fitzgibbon and Bill Cooper are a formidable force in the middle of the field, with Seamus Harnedy, the team captain, leading the side from centre-half forward. Ace marksman Patrick Horgan is at the edge of the square. 11 of the Tipperary team that started the 2016 All-Ireland final are in action today, with 2 of the 4 changes in defence. Brian Hogan was sub-keeper 3 years ago, but he's first choice today, while Newport's Sean O'Brien is named at left corner-back. The half-back line are all the Mahers, All-Ireland winning captain Brendan and brothers Pádraig and Ronan. Noel McGrath and Michael Breen are well established in centre field for Tipperary, while Niall O'Mara and Jason Ford are the only other 2 players that didn't start in the All-Ireland final 2016. The team captain and centre forward Seamus Callanan. Lots of experience on the bench for Cork, 26-man game. Damien Cahalane in defence, Aidan Walsh in the attack, both dual stars in the past. Number of up-and-coming young under-21 stars like Erin's own Robbie O'Flynn and Glen Rovers' Robert Downey. All are players to watch, while Mallow's Cormac Murphy had a fine Alliance League operating in the middle of the field. And look at the Tipperary bench. Well, we see a lot of the All-Ireland under-21 side from last year coming through. Number 17, Ger Brown, was last year's under-21 hurler of the year. Robert Byrne is a player oozing with talent and could play centre field or indeed the half-back line. Add in Mark Keogh, who scored what potentially is the goal of the year, potentially, for University College Cork. And let's have a look down the sideline, because Dr. Con Murphy, who was inducted to the Cork team with his son, Dr. Colum, a legend in Cork. He's having a word with Bill Cooper, and he was involved there in a little bit of stretching, a little bit of concern, as you can see. And indeed, Bill Cooper is coming across to the sideline. I think the decision has been made. Dramatic news along the sideline, and changes expected already in Cork. I can tell you now, it looks like Conor O'Sullivan is being warmed up and is taking off the jersey. Let's go back to Joanne.
Well, that is an interesting development and a huge blow, Anthony Daly, for Cork.
Absolutely, like Bill Cooper. While, you know, in his early days, Joanne, I wondered would he make it, but in the last 2-3 years, he has been kind of that 45 to 45 midfielder and has clipped in with scores. And like that's, I don't know whether there was a doubt about that before or something happened in the warm-up. That's a huge blow to them, and probably means a bit of a reconstruction. If it's Conor O'Sullivan, is Conor back? What's going to happen there? Well, Sean, I don't know who will come to wing. Will Mark Coleman go to midfield? So that's not what you want if you're John Myler. So
it changes more than just one position, essentially. And if you look at the way Cork are set up, I mean, they're going for 3 Munster titles in a row. Yet when we asked most of our team here today who would make it out of Munster, I think only Anthony said that Cork would be amongst the three of them. You reckon they have issues still in defence?
Yeah, without a doubt, Joanne. If you look at the way they played the last while, and particularly the championship last year and the league, they're conceding massive scores, but their defending is very naive. There's no pressure being put on any of the forwards. We've clips here of Wexford just sauntering around, just picking the ball around. Jack O'Connor, all the time in the world, looks up the wing, gives it to Cottle Dunbar. And watch Cormac Murphy's effort here. Tim O'Mahony runs after Cormac Murphy, just stands there and lets him breeze by.
Couldn't get through the mud that day, Jack.
it could be an issue, but in here, Niall O'Mara jinxing through a player. Look at the amount of Cork bodies around there. They should be taking that ball off them, harassing them. If they'd have done that when Ronan Curran and Diarmuid O'Sullivan was there, they had to be taken off them. Here again, another ball flicked in. Noel McGrath has a chance to look up, flicks out a lovely ball to Niall O'Mara, flicks it down to Jason Ford. And I know for a fact, if he got this ball and ran at Diarmuid O'Sullivan, he'd be put into Z Row to stand, slips inside, lacklustre attempt by Joyce. And like, that's consistent. Last year in the championship and this year in the league. And you can see here in the round robin, conceded the most, 101 points versus Wexford's Galway's 80, and again in the National League this year. So it's a trend throughout the last 18 months with Cork. And if Cork are to do something this year, that's where the improvement is. They need to man down the 3 and 6 and defend as a unit, because the way they defend is all individualistic, it's zonal, they're not tight enough and there's not enough pressure, and it will be a big concern for John Myler and his management team. OK,
it is Robbie O'Flynn, by the way, who's actually coming in to replace Bill Cooper. Just before we get to anthems, a word, who's going to win?
Tipperary.
Tip.
Cork.
Oh, it's 2 out of 3 for Tip. Let's head back over to our commentary team of Michael and Marty.
Thank you very much, Joanne. Well, part of the beauty and mystique of the GA world is the intense rivalry that exists between neighbouring parishes, villages or towns, and that in turn is reflected at county level. Up there with Galway and Mayo and Connacht, Dublin and Meath and Leinster, down in Armagh and Ulster must be the intense rivalry between Cork and Tipperary down here in the province of Munster. But the story began between the two counties 131 years ago when they met in Buttevant. And for some reason, Tipperary were leading 2-2 to no score, but then the game never finished. In 1926, 93 years ago, the Munster final replay between Cork and Tipperary was abandoned here on this very same ground at the old Cork Athletic Grounds, with Tipperary leading 1-2 to no score. The crowd apparently invaded the pitch after 10 minutes, so it had to go to a second replay. And out of Cork-Tipperary clashes, we've had some wonderful quotes, like Richard Stakelham's in 1987, "The famine is over," or Babs Keating in 1990, referring to Cork hurlers, "Donkeys don't win derbies." And just for the record, Cork went on to win the All-Ireland. Michael Dignan is with me. The big news, of course, that we've just had here in Cork is that Bill Cooper is sensationally out of the team. He had a very late fitness test, or pulled something on the pitch, and as Joanne said, Robbie O'Flynn from Erin's Own from Downtown is now going to start.
Yeah, I'd expect him to go into the forwards with maybe Daniel Carney moving to the middle of the field. He's played there before, has a big engine on him, but Bill Cooper, a massive loss. You know, we all know it's a 20-man game now, but you don't want to be losing a player of his stature and physique before the start of the game. He's a physical player. Tipperary very strong around that area with the Mahers in the half-back line, so massive loss.
Barrack Street Band here in Cork City, now playing our national anthem. fantastic on a beautiful day here on Leeside. Significant work has been done on the pitch since it was closed after the Cork-Wexford Allianz League game on February 3rd. Now comes its biggest test. But either way, it's going to be uprooted the first week of July because they need a long-term pitch and speed condition. The atmosphere is electric. Cork win the toss. They've decided to go from right to left. What will be the latest chapter? Red and white, blue and gold. Rebels against Premier. Game on. Tim O'Mahony getting his first touch, sending a ball over to the far wing. One Tipperary man happens to be called Barrett. Under a little bit of pressure, severe pressure. Listen to the roar of the crowd already. Trying to dig it out. Ronan Marr. Ball comes outside, however, to Corkman. Blocked. First block. Comes the rebound first. Patrick Horgan, the Glen Rovers man, sends the slither very high, but the umpire is not going to go for his flag. First wide of the match.
Yeah, Marty, and it's actually Luke Meade has got out into the middle of the field, the other wing forward, and Robbie O'Flynn has slotted in. A few changes around the place. Seamus Hardy in around the full forward, and Conor Lahan gone in full forward. But we'll see this early on, trying to test each other. And there's Brian Hogan's first puck out straight out over the sideline.
He'll be disappointed with that, but obviously trying to spread it out to the wings as much as possible. Dara Fitzgibbon from Charleville, second-year art students in University College Cork, part of that wonderful Fitzgibbon Cup team, the winning side, all-star hurler, just last year. Here he comes. Cutting it into the centre. Good hands. Seamus Harnett, the leader of this Cork hurling team as the 2019 championship begins. And he's leading by example. First score of the match.
And he is that, Marty, injured last year, hampered, particularly against Limerick. He was injured before that, but that's a great score. That's what he does. He's very strong in the air, and great start for him. And Pádraig Maher's in at centre half back as well, with Ronan out in the wing.
Brian Hogan went for the relatively short puck out for his Noel McGrath. Coming through is Bonamar. Tim O'Mahony played full forward for the Cork Miners a few years ago, converted to centre half back, and he's doing well. Comes out to the other captain, Jamie Callanan, going for the glory, going for the shot. It's still available. It's in the back of the net. Wonderful score. Lighting up the atmosphere here in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. Callanan's shot somehow seemed to be deflected out. The rebound came out to the Tipperary man available. Over it comes here. In comes the pull, the roof of the Cork net.
Yeah, Martin, we heard Jackie Turrell just talking before the game about the marking. Bonamar picked out, nobody picked up Callanan, playing at centre half forward, ghosted in behind, and a great start for Tip.
Ball comes out for his Pádraig Maher. Into the centre, trying to get it into the centre. Well blocked by Owen Cadigan. That will give the Douglas man loads of confidence. Bonamar kicking it forward, putting it into the centre. Plenty of support play. Heavy challenge by Tim O'Mahony. Referee didn't like the challenge, and that's going to be a free for the Premier County just to the left of the goalposts.
Yeah, and interesting to see Jason Ford come to take the frees. Seamus Callanan, obviously a top-class free taker as well. We saw it with Stephen Bennett and Pádraig Maherty down in Walsh Park earlier. Bennett ended up taking it, but Jason Ford taking this one.
In his 23rd championship appearance for his county, Jason Ford sends that over the bar. And Tipperary have settled well. Puck out, intercepted by Bonamar. Sending it into the centre. Nice pickup. Good play. Niall O'Mara bearing down and goal. Taken off his stick by Owen Cadigan. Comes back outside for his John O'Dwyer. Bubbles on the turn. And Tipperary are looking sharp.
Well, this is what we expected, Mary. Look at the shape that Bubbles is in. He tends to carry a little bit of weight sometimes during the night. Look at that little jink and sidestep, and that's the natural ability that he has. And himself and Cathal Barrett back in the team and looking very sharp today.
Picked up by Luke Meade. Referee spotted the infringement. That's going to be a free for the home side. A crowd of over 30,000 expected here in Páirc Uí Chaoimh, and you put the 11,000 in Walsh Park and Waterford. And that's a really impressive start for the Munster Council and Munster GA.
It is, and Páirc Uí Chaoimh looking fantastic. Martino got criticism earlier in the year, the pitch cut up, but it's in great shape today.
Hoggy, as they call him down here in Cork. 14 years ago, he was just 17. He lined out for his first senior game with his club. Look at him now, scoring points as he's been doing consistently over the last number of years. It's his first in this round one of the Munster Championship 2019. Dara Fitzgibbon giving it back to Mark Coleman. Two All-Stars on this rebel side. Seamus Harnedy trying to dig it out. Robbie O'Flynn was the Cork number 18 trying to get involved in the match. Crossfield ball is a good one. Nice work by John McGrath. McGrath on the turn, he's looking sharp. An All-Ireland minor football medalist, All-Ireland minor hurling medalist back in 2011 and 2012.
And that's what Ronan Maher brings to the team. You know, he might be lacking a little bit of pace, but just that little flick of the wrist, the diagonal ball crossfield, McGrath on the move, picked it up and made it look very simple.
Batted down, in comes Daniel Carney. Small in stature, big in heart, very talented. To his colleague in the half-forward line, Luke Meade. Initial effort was blocked and it goes out over the sideline. Sideline ball for Cork. Luke Meade going to take it himself from Newcestown, club that produced the great Tim Crowley and indeed Kevin Cahill in the past. And he's involved again. Referee has blown his whistle.
Yeah, and that's what Cork are going to be trying to do all day, is run at them and put pressure on. You know, there is, I suppose, a lot of mileage on the clock, you know, with Brendan Maher, Pádraig Maher, James Barry, and that's what Cork are going to try to expose. And you saw Luke Meade, that's the only thing on his mind there was to take them on, and he won the free.
He celebrated his 31st birthday last Sunday, Patrick Horgan. The radar is working perfectly. It's the second point of the game. John Myler hit with that early blow of losing his regular midfielder, Bill Cooper from Youghal. Brian Hogan, 22 years of age, he'll be 23 in July with the puck out. Dara Fitzgibbon going back as a defensive midfielder as such. John McGrath was the last one to touch the slither. That's going to be a sideline ball for Cork. Liam Sheedy, the returning prodigal son, stopped the Kilkenny 5 in a row back in 2010. Didn't seem to concentrate that much on the league in the sense of building a team. Now this is the big test, the first of many. Sideline ball is cut into the middle, straight in far as Niall O'Mara. Quick hands, far as Noel McGrath with that distinctive green helmet with Noam all the way from Lochmore, Castleiney. It's his first score in this match.
Yeah, again, we've seen it many times over the years. Nice, simple score. He doesn't miss those chances.
Anthony Nash sprinting it down the wing, down towards Robbie O'Flynn from Erin's own Glanthorne. Second-year student in UCC. Takes too much out of it. Played Harty Cup with Christian Brothers College, and one of the spectacles that we saw earlier in the season was an all Harty Cup, that's the Munster College's hurling final between Middleton CBS and indeed CBC.
Yeah, he's great pace. There's a lot expected of him. You know, he hasn't really established himself on the Cork team, but I think a bit harsh there. I thought he might have been fouled before he took the extra steps.
Ronan Maher took the free quickly, and it ends with a superb score. Once again, it's that man Noel McGrath.
That's just a beautiful score. A little simple flick out to him again, but beautiful balance there and off his right side this time, straight over the bar.
Twice an All-Star, 2009, 2010. Referee blows for the foul. Cathal Barrett is pleading his innocence to the referee. They were going for the ball, but the man in charge wanted to make sure that the Cork player was okay to continue.
You watch here now, just a little flick in there. Yeah, the linesman has called her.
Obviously, the referee is going to show Carl.
Well, it was the linesman. The linesman was close to it, and he told the ref, and he gave him the card. You know, only Carl Barrett knows, I suppose, whether it was deliberate or not. It was only a flick in, but he caught him on the knee, and I think is it Shane Kingston that's down?
Yes, it is. Championship debutant against Limerick back in 2014. Shane Kingston, son of the former Cork manager Kieran Kingston, who's now in charge of the Douglas senior hurling team, I believe. And Shane, just 21 years of age, another one of the UCC students, third year, arts, in the college.
You can just see that little bit of pace up front for Cork is trouble and tip. This is the third free now for Patrick Horgan. They're giving away frees because they're just getting caught for a yard of pace here and there.
Patrick Horgan, Mr. Consistency, gets his third point of the match.
Yeah, great forward, Martin, everywhere, not just a free taker, a brilliant player for the last well over a decade now for Cork, and one of the top forwards we've seen.
3 times an All-Star, 2013, 17 and indeed last year. Tipperary come in pursuit of more scores. Dropping that ball in. Great catch. Still in play, comes across the face of the goal. There's not one but 3 Cork defenders between them. They're a little bit hesitant. Here comes Tipperary. Great stop by Anthony Nash, but the referee had blown his whistle. But an uneasiness in that Cork full back line. That was a great catch, just barely kept in play. John McGrath scooping it across. Here comes the effort.
It was a brilliant catch. I don't know what the free out was for, or I didn't see anything after that, but he threw it up. I don't think he threw it. It wasn't a hand pass as such. It fell out of his hand, but maybe just to keep it in play. But you're right, and that was it. Tariq Maher deliberately played that ball in there. McGrath very strong in the air.
Ball broken down. Sent down by Ronan Maher. Christopher Joyce from Napiershik on the north side of Cork City. Coming across is Conor Lahan. Middleton now. Staying with him is Sean O'Brien. Newport. Good work by Lahan. The hurling is gone. The referee has blown his whistle and given a free in to the Leesiders here.
And this is again, Mark, that pace, and repeating myself here now, this is what they're trying to do. Isolate them one-on-ones, they're winning their frees, and it's only a matter of time before there'll be a yellow card in there that'll put somebody under savage pressure inside in that full back line. Contrast in styles very apparent. Tipperary trying to go more direct, high balls into Callan and John McGrath, bubbles, and Cork going for the low ones into the corner.
Gives you a different perspective as Patrick Horgan takes the free and lashes that over the bar for the 4th time. Brian Hogan doing his teacher training in Maynooth these days, following in his dad's footsteps. Ken, of course, won an All-Ireland with Tipperary 1989 and 91. Here comes Darragh Fitzgibbon. Lays it off, fires Mark Coleman, the Blarney man. Steps away for the chance, great block down. And he's there for the rebound again. Tipperary, 3 of them around him. Still Coleman had the vision to try and lay it back. And Tipperary are chasing and pursuing. There's a bit of afters going on here between Daniel Carney and right half back Brendan Maher. And the referee will certainly have a word with both of them. Surely, the linesman was right there.
Daniel Carney could be in trouble here for pulling the face guard. It was Brendan Maher who reacted first. He ran into him, but if you watch here, there's a dig, another dig back, but I think when he came up then
this is unacceptable, to be honest, and the referee is going to now have a word with Brendan Maher.
It was Brendan Maher who, there was no need. Noel McGrath was very, very clever there, won the line ball, flicked it off to Cork player, but Ronan Maher hit Carney first and Carney had to react.
Yellow card for the 2 of them. Right now we have 1, 2, 3 yellow cards being shown. Cathal Barrett, the right wing of the Tipperary defence, now have both been shown yellow cards. Sideline ball for Tipperary. Good one into the centre. John O'Dwyer getting involved. Robbie O'Flynn is there for Cork. Tipperary, however, have the possession. This is Noel McGrath. Nice little pass. Over for John O'Dwyer. Gets past the first challenge. Flicks it beautifully and sends it straight between the posts. It's all in the wrist work, and O'Dwyer has it all.
Well, it's the vision of McGrath again, the little flick over the top, and then Dwyer just having that composure to take the tackle and break it and tip it over the bar then.
Anthony Nash, short puck out for his Mark Coleman. Shamie Callanan, looking sharp. Incisive and indeed decisive.
Yeah, we're not 100% sure yet. I think the goal probably was Callan's before it was struck off the ground. I think when Nash saved it, it went in over the line, but he is operating from centre forward, going in full forward. All their forwards are rotating and causing Cork plenty of trouble.
Puck out is lost. Noel McGrath anticipating, sending it back. Coming across is Sean O'Donoghue. Last touch was off a Tipperary man. Ball is wide. Actually, it's Tipperary's first wide of the game. That comes after almost 15 and a half minutes.
Yeah, good call. Yeah, they're not shooting from distance, Martin. They're playing the ball into the full forward line. They're very, very disciplined in their use of possession.
Here comes Seamus Harnedy. Laying it back for us, Christopher Joyce. Ball intended for Patrick Horgan. An all north side opportunity here between Joyce and Napirshick and Horgan of Glen Rovers. But Tipperary deal with it. Good ball down the sideline. Fires Niall O'Mara. Gathers it second time around. Mark Coleman coming into challenge. O'Mara survives. Sends it into the centre. Here comes Sean O'Donoghue. Inish Caraman. Tipperary giving the ball back. Fires John O'Dwyer trying to get the ball inside for Jason Ford. Scooping it up. Beautiful play. Ball inside from John O'Dwyer. Should be Anthony Nash's. And it is. Easily. Plenty of players available. He goes down the middle. Fires Dara Fitzgibbon. Fitzgibbon making a little bit of space for himself. Spreads it out to the far over wing, but Cork just seem to be malfunctioning up front, and Tipperary coming to terms as they go for the long, high, dropping ball. 3 against 3 here. Ball is still available. Owen Cadigan gets in there. Here comes Shamie Callanan. Callanan is causing problems in the early stages, and that's over the bar for his second point of the match.
Yeah, that's a great passage of play there. You know, there was a great tackling, blocking, hooking, and Callan, look at the little flick out between Tim O'Mahony's legs and over the bar, and you know, fantastic contest so far, Marty. Great heart from both teams, but Tipperary settled really well.
Here comes Shane Kingston, the Douglas man, making a bit of space for himself. It's looking good, but will it curl outside? It'll curl inside. Good score. Shane Kingston gets his name on the score sheet for the first time here in Páirc Uí Chaoimh.
Yeah, and himself and Cathal Barrett having a great battle since the start of the game. Barrett booked for a flick on him, then went flying through the air to win the last interception, and then Kingston with that great score.
Interesting to note that of Tipperary's 1 goal and 8 points, 1-7 is coming from play. Away goes Patrick Bonner-Marr, cutting inside the Cork defence. It's opening up in front of him. He pulls the brakes, he shoots, didn't really get behind it, and Anthony Nash is able to scoop it up and give it down towards Luke Meade, but the signals getting a little bit mixed up. It worked out all right, but you just feel that Tipperary are playing with greater intensity. This might liven it up. Cork with an opportunity here with Conor Lehane, but again, just a little bit slow. Comes down far as Noel McGrath. Noel McGrath lays it back, and Tipperary work themselves out of trouble. It's Ronan Marr giving it into the centre. Knocked away from him. Picked up by John O'Dwyer. John O'Dwyer gives it away. Cork have it once more. Robbie O'Flynn takes the shoulder. The Glentown man hits the referee, and the referee feels the pain here at the back of the head. He didn't see that coming. It just got in the way, and the referee will require some attention and a little bit of a breather, to say the least.
Yeah,
Fitzgibbon giving him a kind pat on the back.
He just turned his head, and just as well, because he could have got it in the eye just as easily, and that is sore, but he's up very quickly.
Sean Clear from Kilkenny refereed the Cork Tipperary Allianz League game as well, but he's telling the lads, if I'm a good lip reader, I'm okay, I'm grand. And
the last ref we saw getting injured, of course, was Brian Gavin, and when Tommy Walsh gave him the clip, but he stayed down for a good while now. In fairness to Sean Clear, he's up like a rocket.
Sean Clear throws the ball in. The referee in the middle of the field for a throw ball. That's going to be a free for Cork. Wonderful atmosphere here. I mean, Over 30,000 expected down at the Blackrock end. Glorious sunshine on all the red and white jerseys down there. You can see them. They'll be sun-drenched. I hope they're wearing their factor 50 or 30 because it is gorgeous here.
And it's an amazing crowd for a first round robin game. It could be over 30. We don't know. There was 26 or 7,000 tickets sold during the week, and we don't know what walked up today yet.
Patrick Horgan. This one is going, as always, between the posts and over the bar. That's his 5th point of the match. Does it with ease and style.
Well, they've only scored 2 points from play, and Tip have won 7 from play. So the importance of his frees, unbelievable. He's making them look easy, but they're not easy. There's a strong swirling breeze out there, up high, up above the stands here.
Niall O'Leary coming across, just not quite connecting. Sideline ball is going to Tipperary. 10 years ago, he was Young Hurler of the Year. Gives the ball away. Mark Coleman sending it down towards Shane Kingston. One on this occasion. The referee deems that it was an illegal challenge. Sean O'Brien is questioning the decision.
No, I don't think it was a free. No, he brilliant cornerback play. I'd say he's right up behind his man like he should be. No sweepers in operation today. Forward getting plenty of room, so the defender's under pressure. But that was cornerback on his man. The ball broke, and I saw no free there.
Opportunity again for Patrick Horgan. And Tipperary will know it themselves. They don't need you or I to see it, but they need to stop fouling when you're playing somebody like Patrick Horgan, who puts them over for fun.
Yeah, that's the difference. So far it's keeping Cork in the game, and but a great catch by the linesman there. The officials very involved in this game. We saw Greg Kennedy last night back playing cornerback.
Unexpectedly, Patrick Horgan takes the fray and puts it over the bar. 6 points for the Cork full forward, which pleases his manager John Myler, who later became a grandfather. We congratulate the family. Interception comes first. Conor Lahan from the puck out. He decides to take the point. Sharpness. Good interception by Conor Lahan.
Yeah, he read that very well. He had his back turned, he flicked around, and there was a goal chance, but he hasn't maybe got much ball so far. Settled himself into the game and stuck it over the bar.
This time Brian Hogan goes for distance. Jason Ford, Silvermine's man, nice skill. Getting it into the centre. Good interception, however. Back there is Dara Fitzgibbon, and away he goes. Lays it back. And that's a good quality ball up towards Seamus Harnedy. Turns in, floats it high like a butterfly, and it's over the bar. It's his 2nd point of the match, much to the happiness of the people of Cork.
Yeah, it was a lovely ball inside, and he just floated at him with the wind. He just drew it around, and Cork really, the last 10 minutes have really upped their performance, and Tip had a 5-point lead. Now it's back to 1.
Took out his long again. Good work by Niall O'Leary. Munster under 21 star from last year, championship debutant Daniel Carney, who's been producing the goods for Cork for many a year, and a man that never played minor for Cork, but is a superstar at senior level. As the ball comes out to Patrick Horgan unmarked, it's his 1st point from play. This is more like it by the Leesiders. 7th point of the match. Cork have now scored 6 points without reply. They're back in the match. And more importantly, the scoreboard reads that they are level for the first time. Ball comes down towards Niall O'Leary, trying to scoop it out. Nicely picked up by Luke Meade. Gets the hand pass in. Ball delivered down the middle. Getting in touch with Shane Kingston. Tipperary anticipate what was going to happen. Ball into the space. Chasing after it as Bubbles on the wire. Flicked it up once, flicked it up twice. Ball glued to the hurling the 3rd time. Cuts inside, takes the shot, but didn't get quite behind it. There was a little hook And it meant no problem for Anthony Nash, who flips it over first Daniel Carney. Daniel goes onto the right, pivots, then gives it onto the left. Not one, but two Tipperary players immediately available. Noel McGrath calling for front of us here. Noel drops it in, dropping down from the sky. It's 1 against 1. A little bit of pushing there, says the Tipperary crowd. Referee says play on. Good work by Owen Cadigan. Cadigan battling hard, still battling with the Tipperary captain, and the ball has gone out over the end line and wide. And listen to the roar of the people of Cork.
Yeah, massive roar. Owen Cadigan stood his ground there. Here you see it. There's Niall O'Leary just threw himself in front there. What a block down there. Bubbles maybe could have flicked it over the bar. You know, Cork were after having a great run. Tip could have done with a point, but a great block down.
Heading towards the 25th minute. Tipperary haven't scored since the 16th minute. Nicely picked up by Brendan Maher. Maher giving it into the centre. Fires another Maher. No relation. Bonner Maher. Fires Shamie Callan. Ball into the space. There's an opportunity here for Niall O'Mara. And across comes Niall O'Leary. And Niall O'Mara has never scored a championship goal, and the referee is giving a penalty. Well,
I thought it looked a good tackle to me. We'll get a replay. Maybe I should wait for the replay before commenting on it, but this is a massive call. He's just after having a brilliant block down. No.
He did seem to go heavily on it, to be honest.
Watch here, hand on the back, but
Yeah.
ref got it right.
Yeah, I know.
I was wrong. Watch it here now, the hand across straight in, pushing the back.
Yeah, that to me is a penalty, Mike.
Penalty all day long. Great call.
So, crucial moment.
The crowd booing heavily here, but they're wrong. They haven't the benefit of the replay that we had.
Jason Ford. Anthony Nash saves! Full credit to the keeper, although my initial instinct is that Jason Ford didn't really connect properly. But 10 out of 10 to the former All-Star goalkeeper from 2012 and 2013. Ball comes back into the play, and the ball is sent wide. And the Cork crowd will salute Anthony Nash, a man that, when he was just 16 years of age, back in 2000, actually had a trial with Wimbledon Football Club. And a cat-like, you can see why. Brilliant save here by Nash from Kanturk, diving spectacularly to his right and getting it away. Meanwhile, back live, it's picked up here by Brendan Maher. Maher giving it into the centre, picked up here by Michael Breen from Ballina. Michael Breen, who's doing his teacher practice in CBC down in Cork City, was a selector with that team that got to the Harty Cup final. Knocked away, ball becomes loose and available. It's shoulder to shoulder and hip to hip. It's Premier against the Rebels. This is all the electricity that you want in a Munster Championship match. First round, ball comes down into the space, chasing after is Jason Ford. Staying with him is Niall O'Leary. Niall sticking to his task. Ford can't get inside the cover, and the referee says that Jason Ford took too many steps. And the momentum, which had been with Tipperary, I now feel is swinging back to the banks of the league.
Yeah, Jason Ford won it well here. Just watch him there. Just took 6 or 7 steps, and in fairness to Sean Clear, he's bang up at the play, and he got that one right as well. And I think the next few minutes now, Tipperary really rattled by Cork's. I think just the penalty saved the 5 or 6 points in a row, and Cork all the momentum with them at the moment.
Ball comes down towards Patrick Horgan. Surely he's being held. The referee's whistle has now been blown, and it is a free in for Cork. Well, you have to give credit to Cork, Michael. They lost Bill Cooper, who's been the rock of experience right before the throw-in. They conceded a goal, what we would think was Shamie Callan, that got the ball in past Anthony Nash, and yet they've responded here magnificently.
They have brilliantly, and getting, I suppose, we said the difference between the two teams. Everyone knows this, is that the pace of Cork versus the experience and the wiliness of Tipperary, and Cork using that pace. They've been fouled. This man is slotting over the frees. He had a penalty save, but Tip's still looking very dangerous on the other end as well, inside the full forward line.
Patrick Horgan registers his 8th point of the game, 7 from frees, 1 from play. Liam Sheedy, a little bit concerned, I'm sure, that he didn't score that penalty, or rather Jason Ford didn't score it. It was an opportunity. Niall O'Mara had a fine Alliance League. In fires John McGrath from along the sideline, and that is over the bar. That's a good score by John O'Dwyer, actually. Bubbles gets that point. It's his 3rd point of the match.
It just makes it look so easy, Marty. Like, that is a very, very difficult chance, and that's his 3rd. He's absolutely razor sharp up there, and acknowledging the crowd.
That's Tipperary's first score in 12 minutes. Conor Lahan going from the score in front of the south stand. It's a thing of beauty. It's his 2nd point of the game. Class.
Yeah, and Anthony Nash's puckouts, really beginning to have an impact as well on the game. Great run from Lahan, and he got himself into space, and Nash picked him out from about 90 yards. A super simple score and a great score.
Brian Hogan opting to go long, and most of these puckouts knocked away by Tim O'Mahony in the clash of the Ash. Coming across is Robbie O'Flynn. Into the centre, Dara Fitzgibbon. Referee felt that Fitzgibbon had taken too many steps, just couldn't deliver the ball fast enough. Seamus Harnedy gives him a little touch on the head, say keep going, Dara, and it is a free for Tipperary. Noel McGrath going to take this. Twice an All-Ireland senior medalist, 2010 when Liam Sheedy was the manager, 2016 when Michael Ryan was the boss. Noel McGrath steps back, feeling a little bit worried, I think, and that's gone wide for Tipperary's 4th wide of the match.
Unusual to see him hitting the free with Jason Ford and Seamus Callan there, but he fancied it.
Rebound comes out first, Christopher Joyce. Knocked away on this occasion. Far as James Barry gives it into the centre. Away comes Tipperary once more. Noel McGrath pumping it in towards the corners. Seamus Callan is switching from full forward to centre forward and back. And Cork come away with it. Callan gets up off the ground and keeps chasing and harassing, and here he is. Now there's an example of leadership, but disappointment at the end, but full credit for work rate.
That would have been some score, I was just thinking to myself, Mark Coleman, the younger legs, and got away from him. Callan got back, brilliant hook, and maybe just rushed the shot. He had a bit more time than he thought.
Anthony Nash looking at his options. He goes for the long ball, not going for the short one, spreading it down that wing all the time. James Barry is there for the Premier County. Cathal Barrett gets a touch. Pádraig Maher. As Tipperary builds slowly. That ball carries a little bit of pace. Comes far as Michael Breen and the Ballina man right beside Killaloo. Sends that between the posts and over the bar. Slow build up and an easy score, and good score from Tipperary, but an easy score for Cork to concede.
Yeah, no, I think Tipperary were very happy to get that score. Tipperary, I thought, were overplaying it, but to show good patience. And Breen, that's a fine strike from out in the sideline in the middle of the field.
Again, the long ball from Anthony Nash. There is a superb catch, and it is Conor Lahan giving it back past Patrick Horgan. This one is floating in. Has it got the legs? It has! My word, Patrick Horgan. His 9th point of the game, 2 of them from play, 7 from frees, but this is just a piece of magic.
I had a catch first of all from Lahan. He was brought to ground then. I don't think it was anything, but how quickly he got up. But look at this, just leaning back and just trusting yourself, and confidence of that man is unbelievable in all the ability in the world.
1 point between the teams again. Tipperary go for the long ball. Jason Ford chasing after this. Look at Niall O'Leary, championship debutant. Ford, good player, Silvermines. Trying to get inside, but Niall O'Leary is sticking to his task. It's my first time, I have to admit, seeing Niall O'Leary from Castle Lyons, but I like his tenacity and his determination. Now, he's using the body a little bit too much there, but so far from what I've seen, I can see why John Myler has played him at cornerback. Yeah,
no, he's a well-regarded player. He probably, the foul for the penalty, that one there now, is probably maybe due a yellow card, but he got away with it. He got away with the card, but he is tenacious. But look, Marty, this is the type of hurling I like. 6 backs on 6 forwards. You fight your battle and you win or you lose, and to me it's brilliant, and it's edge of the seat stuff at the moment, and there's nothing in it.
Jason Ford taps that over for his 2nd point of the match. Sides level for the 2nd time. Liam Sheedy from Portroe. Anthony Nash, Kinturk. This time goes for the short puck out, gets possession. That's a great ball up to Shane Kingston. Oh, he left it behind him. He lost it in the sunshine. It looked like an easy delivery. It was a really good vision. Noel McGrath pumping it in towards the corner. Sean O'Donoghue had situation well read and anticipated. Giving it back fires Anthony Nash. Change the direction. Over towards Conor Lahan. Making the run. First touch this time. Just bounces off the hurling. Sideline ball.
Yeah,
was going to take it quickly. Sorry, Michael.
Conor, he was just too casual there, you know, and Noel McGrath, you don't see that happen too often with Stephen John, just misread John's run there, and an easy ball for Sean Vanner to pick up.
Ball into the middle. Tony Marr goes for the score from way out the field, and that's straight between the posts and over the bar. Good score by the Hurling Sarsfields man.
Yeah, great strike. Look, from a standing start to get that sort of distance. I know the sliver is light, but that's a super strike, and we've seen it many times over the years.
Anthony Nash aiming for Seamus Harnedy, knocked away on this occasion by Sean O'Brien. Down for his Bonamar. Crucial time. Coming up towards the break. Shamie Callanan turning, flicking. Nice skill by the big man from Drummond-Inch, and he puts it over the bar. If they give him plenty of ball inside, whether it's centre forward or full forward, you sense that Callanan is on form again.
He's on fire, and that's a superb score. Like, so little space. This is happening very, very quickly. Owen Cadigan is a tight marker, he's a strong man, but just a little flick back there and the way he controlled it and made space for himself. Classic.
Short puck out, ends up with Dara Fitzgibbon. Ball into space, they're getting their signals crossed. It's a waste of possession. Ball goes out harmlessly over the in-line.
Yeah, Martin, we gave Cork great credit for the way they came back into it, but Tipperary weathered that storm out. They're having their periods ebbing and flowing.
Brian Hogan again goes for Distelhot. Tim O'Mahony. Sweet catch. Newtown Shandron that produced Ben and Jerry O'Connor in the past. Came on against Limerick as a forward in the All-Ireland semi-final last year, but I saw him in the league games, Michael, and I have to say I think he's really produced the goods at number 6.
Yeah, he's a very good player, and interesting here, Martin, Patrick Horgan coming the whole way back. Down at the pitch level the flags aren't moved, but up high if we look at the tricolour, it's absolutely gusting, and I think Cork have a nice bit of a breeze behind them in this first half, and could tell later in the game.
So Patrick Horgan has already scored 9 times in this opening half. There he is, deep inside his own half of the field. He's going for it. It's looking good, it's dropping, and it's gone all the way. My word, brilliant Patrick Horgan. 10 out of 10 for his 10th point of the match.
Incredible strike, and he's missed no chance. He's had 2 chances from play, 8 frees, scored them all, and he's the main reason that Cork are still in this game at half time, but they did really pick it up halfway through the half. But a fantastic first half of hurling.
Really enjoyable game of hurling, level twice in this first half, and Shamie Callanan looks to be the man that's been credited with the goal. We'll have analysis, of course, at half-time. Wonderful atmosphere. Liam Sheedy is encouraging his players, feels that they've done well, and I'm sure he'll give a good pep talk at half-time, as will John Myler. But the story of the first half, there's the scoreline. Half-time in sunny Páirc Uí Chaoimh. It's Cork 15 points, Tipperary 113. Analysis, do not go away, coming your way very shortly.
We knew it was going to be close, and we knew it was going to be good, and the hurlers of Cork and Tipperary haven't let us down. Just a point separating them at the break. Tipperary 113 to Cork's 15 points. And there is so much to talk about and so many players to talk about from that opening 35 minutes that let's just get stuck straight into the action, because that's what they did out there. Seamus Callanan, as far as we know, it's his goal anyway, the early one.
Yeah, it exploded into life, this game, Joanne, and no one better than Seamus Callanan. He just used all his experience. The Cork lads got drawn to the ball. He just slipped out to the wing and he got to put the head down. Cork a little naive getting sucked in, and he buried it. It was a super goal. A great start for Tip. You can see him here now. Look, he just drifts off, hand in the air, and in fairness, the Tipperary lads find him. He straightens up his body and straight at the goal. He drives at the space. Cork were caught out of poor shape at that stage. And as I say, a great finish. And he has been the focal point of that attack. Tipperary started great for the first 20 minutes. And he was, I think he scored 1-3 in total. It was only when Cork dropped Daniel Carney and Luke Meade back into that defence for Cork that they started to block up those channels, and Cork started to grow and come into the game then.
They did, but Tipperary still looked like a threat even then, and they had that penalty, of course, and a brilliant save from Anthony Nash.
That's it. We can see the ball in here, and look, in fairness, Niall O'Mara, again runs inside the Cork defence, and Niall O'Leary, looking back on it again, the hand was on the back and he did foul him, and Niall O'Mara played it very well. As he comes in, hand is on the back, and played the man more so than the ball. And look, it was good pressure. Niall is getting stuck in, and he's made a couple of interceptions, especially on Bubbles. O'Dwyer, a vital one. But we see here Jason Ford. He probably didn't connect with it brilliantly. Nash, an excellent save, but it kind of bounced twice nearly before it tested out the full sod of Páirc Uí Chaoimh anyway. But Nash made an excellent save, and it really could have made the margin between the teams even bigger.
Now, I know before the game you really wanted to do a piece on Seamus Harnedy because you think Cork are an entirely different animal depending on whether or not he plays. And did that become very apparent?
Oh, absolutely, Joanne. And I know he got a point from outside early on, but I just thought when they got him inside, the threat of him, for me, he's the fulcrum of this Cork attack. And look, again, a bit like Clare wondering how they only won by a point. I'd say Liam Sheedy's inside there wondering how he's only a point up, because they've done nearly all the hurling, but they've been indisciplined at the back, giving away silly frees, keeping Patrick Horgan 10 points, mad frees. This is a fantastic piece of vision here. He kind of says to young Kingston, move away and leave it to me. Doesn't try the mad thing, sees Horgan in a bit of space. He'll score those in his sleep. So these guys, the old guard, let's say, Horgan, Lehan again comes absolute, really reading young Hogan in goal. Doesn't try for the goal either. Is aware that this is a long process here. This is 77 or 8 minutes. And we'll tip away, and that's the Cork style.
Yeah, and I suppose, look, some of it is poor defending from Tip as well, because they're giving them too much space, and it's something that they should know that it's the one thing that Cork have. It's pace, it's the movement, and they need to track the movement, because if you give space to the likes of Lehan, Horgan, Harnedy, they'll pop points over all day.
Their younger fellas really haven't. Shane Kingston got a good point, but if they spring to life now with the legs.
But it's the ease of comfort that they can flow in between. Harnedy started at full, went to centre, went back into full. Horgan spent time
outside.
Yeah, it's just moving around. It's very hard to even detail who's marking who. It's that kind of a game. It's end-to-end stuff.
Anymore,
No, it has been absolutely blistering so far, and we have a feeling there's plenty more of that to come in the second half. An exciting month ahead in June, the FIFA's Women's World Cup, with every game live, free to air on RT and TG Car. The groundskeeper at Páirc Uí Chaoimh has done an absolutely amazing job, because there were all those issues during the league time, but it has really helped provide us with this great spectacle we've had between Cork and Tipperary. And Jackie Tyrrell, one of the features, as Anthony alluded to before the break, of that opening half was the movement of both forward lines. Cork, as you said, brought Daniel Carney and Luke Meade back to cut it out, but Tip, in many ways, did they stop making the same level of runs? Did they stop creating headaches for Cork from that point of view?
Yeah, they did. The runs weren't as diligent, but the space wasn't there for them to run in, and the ball wasn't as obvious for the half back line, because Luke Meade and Daniel Carney dropped back and filled up, and the half backs were able to drop off and close off those. So it's in the second half, it's whatever team can get that quality ball into the inside. So one side you've Jason Ford and Seamus Callan causing havoc on one side, and the other then the lads we've spoken about, Conor Lehan, Patrick Hogg, so who can ever open up that defence, get the space, get the run in and quality ball in. There's goals at either end for both.
And we know the man who tends to give most quality ball in from tip is Noel McGrath. He was very influential, particularly in the start of that first half.
Definitely, and look, he chipped in with a couple of points and has set up, a few attacks for tip as well. And he's such a massive player, and I think midfield suits him because he's such an intelligent player, and he's always there looking for the ball. And then when he's in possession, he's looking for the man in the better position, and he's going to be really, really important for tip in the second half. And in fairness, Bubbles O'Dwyer, for me, he's probably looked the sharpest he has in the last couple of years. He's fit, he's moving off the ball. He was probably unlucky there. Niall O'Leary got the block in, but he's threatening there, and I think if he takes on that Cork half back line, it could set up another score or a goal for Shamey or Jason Ford.
But that's the kind of game it is, isn't it? If this tiny thing happens, we can see goals just coming.
I mean, it's like two different sports than what we watched earlier, Joanne, because of the space. Really, honestly, it's just so the width out there, and this. I'm not saying Walsh Park wasn't in pristine condition, but it's just the absolute space. But if I'm Liam Sheedy in there now, and I've my stats people in me, like I'm going back into the players and saying, lads, why are we giving away these frees? It's Patrick Horgan, like you would have talked about it during the week. Like they won't score them all under pressure on the run over on the sideline. But Hoggy'll score them all from the sideline.
But if the space is inside, aren't they afraid that the players are going to get in and use that space and perhaps get a goal?
Some of them do, Joanne. Some of them do are outside. They're 35
lazy,
yards. They're lazy frees,
yeah.
Absolutely. And you might be codding yourself thinking your man didn't score that, and you didn't let him in for a goal, but you're codding yourself, because you're letting down the overall squad. You're killing them. They did all the hurling to my mind overall now.
Yeah.
Cork, in fairness, did come back, but they came back mostly because of the frees. They were 6 points ahead and they let them back into it gradually. Horgan free, they tipped away, and now who'll have the legs now, 37-8 minutes? Will the old legs now from tip hold up? That's what I'd be wondering.
Yeah, we'll see very, very shortly as we head back to our commentators, Michael and Marty.
Yes, indeed, Joanne. We're looking forward to the second half. It's the 87th championship clash between the neighbours, and right now Tipperary lead with 39 victories to Cork's 38. It kind of sums up the whole story of this match as well. First round of the Munster Hurling Championship 2019, Cork and Tipperary. Last year they drew. Tipperary 220, Cork 123. What will it end today? Tipperary travelling down here to the banks of the Lee, hoping to achieve victory and a better season under Liam Sheedy. Pulsating first half. Let's hope for the same in the second period. Daniel Carney come back there to help out his defence, giving it long. There's a bit of afters going on. The referee, I'm sure, will be notified in a moment. We continue on with the action. This is Pádraig Maher, scored a point in the first half. Sends it down the middle, over first John O'Dwyer, who turns, and O'Dwyer, the Bubbles man himself, sends it straight between the posts and over the bar for his fourth point of the match.
Yeah, he's out centre forward now, and the ball may be lucky to get to him, but I think we talked about the breeze just before half time, and you saw that he just gave that little flick. It's blown sort of from the right hand side, and curled it in for a lovely score, his fourth from play, and it's a long time since we've seen this man as sharp as he is today.
Puck out straight down the middle. Robbie O'Flynn giving it back first, Tim O'Mahony. Intended to go wide, but it's batted away, picked up by Ronan Maher. Little flick forward, far as Michael Breen, who also scored a point in the first half. Good running by the Ballina man. Little hook put him off, but he's still there battling away. Has the sliotar in the left paw. What can he do with it? Lays it back. Ball coming through the middle. It's a good ball. Seamus Callan is the target. Knocked away on this occasion by Owen Cadigan. Comes over for Sean O'Donoghue. Gathers, scoops it up into his hand. Tipperary putting in the hard work like they did at the start of the first half. A ball cross field from Niall O'Mara, and it's a good one over towards Jason Ford. It gives him a little bit of space. Ford turns onto his right hand side and sends that between the posts for his third point of the match.
Yeah, that was a great ball by Niall O'Mara. Lovely passage of play. Some great tackling there by John McGrath. Great defending by Owen Cadigan there on Seamus Callan. And great 30 seconds of hurling there.
Puck out by Nash, just carries a little bit too much power. Tipperary again get control of it. Noel McGrath getting by the initial challenge. Slither knocked away. In comes Niall O'Mara, and that dribbles out over the sideline. Line ball.
Yeah, and just picking up on something that Jackie said there at half-time, Daniel Carney out around the middle of the field along with Luke Meade, and you see Pádraig Maher now has dropped right back in as a loose man right in front of the full back line, so it'll be interesting tactically to see how this progresses through the second half. I think this will suit Tipperary more because when the Mahers get loose ball, their deliveries are very good and they'll get the ball directly into the full forward line.
Niall O'Leary from Castle Lyons played Harty Cup with St. Coleman's, came through the ranks there for 3 years. Beaten by Ardscoil Reach in a final which produced so many of the Limerick stars that won the All-Ireland last year. There's his club hurling as well, apart from Castle Lyons, with the divisional side, Emma Kelly, that won the last 2 Cork County Championships. For John Myler and his backroom team, Kieran Murphy, Froggy there right beside him. It's a tense second half because I'm sure, Michael, that they set out their stall very early within the squad themselves. It's a new Páirc Uí Chaoimh and we need to make it a bit of a fortress.
Yeah, well, it's huge for them. You know, if they lose today, they have to go to Limerick next week, and you know, to go to play the All-Ireland champions in Limerick and lose that will be massive. And I think it's just going to be intriguing here now. Cork are going to try to get this running game going from deep with the overlap out the field, with the extra man out the field, and the Tipperary forwards will be trying to stop them. And you saw the tackling there since half time with the Tipperary forwards has been very impressive.
Well, the Munster Council informed me yesterday that they were hoping to get more than 30,000, which is a remarkable figure. They've achieved that. 30,274 here in Páirc Uí Chaoimh on a sunny day in the southern capital. We've had a pulsating first half. Second half just a little bit slow to find its rhythm, but I'm sure it will. Sideline ball for Cork, going to be taken by Mark Coleman. 21 years of age since last December, All-Star course in 2017. First player from Blarney to play senior championship for Cork over the last number of seasons. Here he comes.
You'll fancy this one.
Ball comes in, knocked away, picked up by Patrick Horgan under pressure, and that is gone. Is it gone over the bar? Well, the referee and the umpires are going to consult. One umpire was bending his back, going to pick up the flag. The other one had a little bit of a doubt, but let's see what they're going to say here to the referee, Sean Clear from Kilkenny.
Looked a point.
Looked
to me anyway.
Yeah. Yes, I agree with you.
I don't think the man is capable of missing today, but he's having a word.
We don't have Hawkeye here, so
he's getting info from somebody. The linesman, he's talking to the linesman. If you look over here onto the left-hand side.
Yes, the linesman is talking in front of the northern stand. And now the referee and the linesman are going to have a conversation. This is how valuable Hawkeye is.
It's so crucial. You know, if there's a point in it at the end, it's massive. So they're giving it, I think it was a point.
I think it is a point. I think the referee is making his way, trotting over to raise the white flag. It's Patrick Horgan's 11th point of the match.
Watch it again there. Yeah. Started to curl after we got over the bar.
Cork have the possession. Christopher Joyce sending it down towards Robbie O'Flynn. Nice little stick work by Conor Lahan. Lovely ball inside, just carries a little bit too much pace, and Tipperary survive. They go for the long ball. Up to Shamie Callanan and company. Good work here by Niall O'Mara, bursting his way forward, and that's gone over the bar. Niall O'Mara has yet to score a goal in championship hurling, but he is well capable of scoring points. In fact, so far through his career, he's scored 8 points. This is his 9th.
I'm just finding this so interesting watching the way they're playing. You saw Cork running with that ball, and the game is back on here now, but I think it's stopped. The players don't know the whistle is gone, but you saw Cork running there, Conor Lahan looking for a little ball, their men coming off the shoulder, and then Tipperary win it. Ronan Maher, little flick, it raced 80 yards up into the full forward line, and could have resulted in a goal. So it's direct versus the running game is what we're beginning to see the pattern of the second half.
Anthony Nash going short. First Christopher Joyce. Not a great ball. Bit of a hospital pass, to say the least. Directed to nobody, and it's possibly caused an easy score to be conceded by Cork. Scored by Brendan Maher, All-Ireland winning captain, fourth player from Borrisoleigh to lift the Lee McCarthy Cup. It looked like Niall O'Mara.
Niall O'Mara, yeah, with two white helmets there. Brendan Maher was the assist. He gave a nice pass there, and O'Mara really coming into this game in the second half.
Ball down the middle from Sean O'Donoghue, nicely picked up by Seamus Harnedy, and away he goes. He has acres of Páirc Creeve in front of him. Harnedy pass across was not great, and the ball is available, and it comes to the Tipperary defender. Good play into the centre to Ronan Marr. Ronan Marr comes away with it, fires Noel McGrath, diagonal ball. There's John O'Dwyer that was sending it across. Coming back is Mark Coleman. Mark Coleman, a little bit of hesitation. Owen Cadigan takes control of the situation, gives it down for Sean O'Donoghue. Dinesh Karaman, this is better, first Tim O'Mahony. Tim O'Mahony drives it in low. That's quite a good ball. Can Cork capitalise on it? Right man, right place. Patrick Horgan over his right shoulder. Is it going to go over? Is it what? Fantastic, Patrick Horgan! You are seeing a magician in the game of hurling play. Look at this. Brilliant.
Just an incredible score, and credit Tim O'Mahony there as well. You know, maybe last year he might have had a pop at that from out the field, but he saw Horgan in acres of space and played a great ball into him. And you know, just the man is on fire today. I make it 12 shots at goal now and 12 points, 8 frees, 8 from 8 and 4 from 4 from play.
Christopher Joyce is off. Damien Cahalane is in, son of Niall, great footballer in his own playing days, and of course Damien, a dual star as well in the past. As Cork begin once again slowly to start first half, the start of the second half like they did in the first, but they're slowly beginning to find their rhythm. Shane Kingston tries to make a little bit of an angle, a bit of space for himself, and having worked so hard to create the space, he flicks it over the bar for his second point of the game. Wonderful play, Shane Kingston.
Yeah, that's a great score. You know, he was a brilliant young player. Here's Tim O'Mahony with a fantastic catch, and up to Kingston. He had to work really, really hard, but had that confidence just to and power to make space for himself and put it over the bar.
Pick up on Brian Hogan. Cork have the possession. Luke Meade. Ball is dropping, and the ball is dropping to the right and wide. 6 wide of the match for Tipperary, but it's almost a mirror image of the first half, Michael, because Cork did start slowly, and they're giving the ball away from the puck outs, however, and the ball is being sent back and sent straight over the bar. Good work this time, Brendan Maher.
What a score. I know it was a bad puck out. I was just going to say that Nash's puck outs have been very accurate, and that one went astray, but Brendan Maher, again, just from a standing start, to be able to puck that over the bar off his left hand side, a great strike.
Anthony Nash again goes for distance, very tight along that sideline, and winning your own puck outs is so important, and the last 2 now have gone astray.
Yeah, and there was another one before that. You know, in the first half, I think a few of his long ones resulted in scores. He was picking up the runner from 80-90 yards, but the second half his puck outs haven't been as accurate.
Brendan Barr into the centre, bypasses all the Tipperary lads. Tim O'Mahony scoops it up and lays it off quickly. Daniel Carney switches direction. 50-50 ball, but it's won almost by Conor Lahan. Flicks it over first, Patrick Horgan. Ball is bobbing over the place. Here comes Cathal Barrett from Holy Cross, Ballycal. Down the right flank as Tipperary counter-attack. There's an opportunity here from outside the D that is sent straight over the bar by Jason Ford. 4th point of the match for the full forward.
Yeah, that's a great score. You know, beautiful interplay. Cathal Barrett, great ball up, and Jason Ford coming off the shoulder, and John McGrath, totally unselfish, could have had a go himself but pick out the runner, and that's a fantastic point.
Anthony Nash persisting with the puck out down that wing. It breaks kindly, this time for Robbie O'Flynn. Can he do something from there, make a name for himself? The umpire is going to signal wide. It's the 3rd wide, only the 3rd wide of the match for Cork.
Yeah, and this, you know, Robbie's great pace, and he gets himself into those positions, but you know, really should have been putting that over the bar, and poor miss.
Ronan Marr getting the short puck out from Brian Hogan. 50-50 ball here, sideline goes out over, sliotar goes out over the sideline rather, and that's going to be to Cork's advantage.
Poor ball from Ronan Maher there, give Michael Breen no chance of controlling that low ball up the wing like that.
Daniel Carney taking the sideline, not a great one. Made his debut 7 years ago against Tipperary. Long ball in, battling with Owen Cadigan. Good work by the fullback. Played international rules, dual star in the pass, picked up by Mark Coleman. Shoulder to shoulder, hip to hip stuff all the way here now. Crucial time for both counties. Mark Coleman, Tim O'Mahony, referee has blown his whistle. He's given the free to Tipperary for the foul on Bonner-Mar.
Yeah, and we talk about the foul and Tipperary's discipline in the second half. What an improvement. Like, Cork have only scored 1 point from a free in the second half, if I'm not mistaken, and Bonner-Maher winning a very important free there. And I think Brendan Maher in particular driving on Tipperary in the second half. It just seems like great full-back play as well, Marty, from Owen Cadigan. Like, Callan got 1-3 in the first half, but Cadigan has shown since half-time that he's really sticking with him and made a couple of very important interventions.
Dan McCormick just been introduced for Michael Breen, as Jason Ford takes the free and sends that straight between the posts. Five points for Jason Ford. That's the first free actually of this second half. All the points coming from play. Oh, fantastic. Great catch. Good work by Ronan Maher. And he's there for the return pass. Oh, he's going to go for it. Should have been a wonderful sequence of play by one man from Thurles Sarsfields, but just a little bit off target. Puck out from Anthony Nash, and Cork need to change the game plan and the puck out strategy because it's too one-dimensional. It keeps going the same way, and Tipperary are now anticipating the puck outs.
Well, particularly with Brendan Maher been so dominant over there at right half back, it's not working at all for them.
Daniel Carney picked up by Shamie Callanan. Ball inside. Nice ball. John O'Dwyer. Beautiful ball. Here comes the shot. And it's back in the net.
What a goal.
A fantastic goal for Tipperary. An absolute peach. Magical by John McGrath.
When Tipper in their prime under Shea and under Mick Ryan, when Eamon O'Shea was involved, that's the type of goal. Look at the vision, look at this for a ball, but look at McGrath, the coolness of him, had a little look and buried in the back of the net. That is a fantastic goal.
Here come Cork now. They've got to respond. Shane Kingston, he's lost his hurley, gives it back outside to Robbie O'Flynn, turns, pulls the brakes, has a go, and the Glounthaune man sends it over the bar. Good response, Cork. Great response, in fact. But what a goal by John McGrath. Fantastic. Puck out. Brian Hogan. Sideline ball. Goes to Cork. Worth watching again. Created by John O'Dwyer. Little few steps inside and then an absolute cracker.
A rocket, unstoppable, but John O'Dwyer having some game as well. Like it was the pace of the pass. He didn't have to move an inch, took it in his hand and gave him that few seconds to turn his man and bury it.
Mark Coleman keeps it down the wing. Brendan Maher comes across. And Tipperary are on fire now. Absolute fantastic score by John O'Dwyer. It's his 5th point of the game, and each and every one of them are a little bit different, each and every one of them a little bit special.
I couldn't have put it better, Marty. Unbelievable. 5 brilliant points from him so far.
Mark Coleman gets the ball away as Cork try to recover. Seamus Harnedy needs to lead by example now, tries to get inside the cover, he's doing rather well, but the ball given away, ran out of space, ran out of ideas, and Tipperary let fly. Long ball up towards Jason Ford. Good work by Niall O'Leary. Castle Lyons youngster does well. Into the centre, Tim O'Mahony was clearly calling for it. Makes a few feet in terms of ground and then gives it long, but the ball again is given away. Tipperary has clearly rattled the Cork cage. Picked up here by Niall O'Mara. Ball into the centre. Mark Coleman anticipating. Read it well. And between them, they mess it up. Not one, not two, but three of them got the signals wrong. And it's an easy ball conceded to Tipperary.
Yeah, that's a couple of balls in the second half. You know, the Cork have overplayed. I think with Patrick Horgan in such form inside, they need to be getting the ball into him quicker. And just noticed Shane McCallan, I don't know if you noticed, Marty, when Harnedy made that run, it was Shane McCallan who closed him down and stopped him taking the shot. He was after travelling 50 or 60 yards down the field.
Ball is intercepted well by Damien Callahan, and it comes for Shane Kingston. Cork need a goal. Is this the moment? Kingston was almost stripped, takes the shot. Brian Hogan saves, the ball is available, and it goes across the face of the goal. Ball is still alive. Cork are there, coming across. Good work by Cathal Barrett. Coming through at high speed, good defending, but the referee has blown his whistle, and it's going to be a free in for Cork.
Yeah, he gave the advantage there. I think there was a slight trip on Shane Kingston. If we watch it again, but it's still a brilliant block down there by James Barry coming across, and then a great save. If you just watch here, there's a little sit of flick there, and that's a yellow card, I'd imagine, coming up for Sean O'Brien. And a great save there by Hogan.
The referee is right to have a word with Sean O'Brien. Yellow card, surely for him. And that's exactly what it's going to be.
You know, it was the advantage rule. I think it's been a great rule for hurling. Like that was still a great goal chance by Shane Kingston, but it's in the old days that'd be cleared if you let it go.
Tipperary have had a great second half. They've scored a goal and 8 points. Cork have responded with just 4 points as Patrick Horgan sends that over the bar for his 13th point of the match.
And I was incorrect earlier. I said that is their first free of the second half, and he had scored 8 in the first half. So that is some change from Tipperary. They saw that at half time, was killing them, and they've just stopped fouling since half time.
James Barry from Upper Church Stromban has picked up an injury, and
well, he blocked. It was bravery. He blocked Shane Kingston's shot with his body, and not sure where he got it.
Jake Morris is coming on for Tipperary, and the player that's going to go off is Jason Ford. So a change in the Tipperary attack as the Nina Air Old man comes on for the Silver Mines man just down the road. Yeah. James Barry is fully recovered. First won a Fitzgibbon Cup himself at UCC in 2013. Part of the team with Seamus Harnedy, who's against him today.
Yeah, Jake Morris, a different type of player than Jason Ford, but very mobile and elusive, and you know, this is all part of Liam Sheedy's master plan, bringing on a bit of pace now as well. And there's a silly free now with Tim O'Mahony. No need for 90 yards from your own goals out on the sideline, and Jason Ford gone now, who've been taking the free. So does Shane McCallan go on him now? Noel McGrath is coming for it.
No need to foul at all.
That was Bubbles, actually.
Well, let's be honest, he must be, in terms of his psychological state, must be very confident, because he's been playing really, really well. He scored 5 points. Some of them were just fantastic from different sides of the field.
He'll fancy this, yeah. He's a confidence player. He's wide.
It's this to the right and wide, however.
That's 2 now. Noel McGrath took 1 in the first half from right in the middle of the field, and he took that one. And Shane McCallan is on the field, who's a proven big match free taker, and that's the man I'd be getting to take them.
I'm still a little bit surprised though, Michael, that Jason Ford has gone off, to be honest. Anyway, here comes Donald Dwyer, having missed the free. He gets the point from play. No, he doesn't. He sent that one wide as well.
Yeah, it looks. I think it's part of a plan, Marty. You know, that was it. We're going to bring in fresh legs, and Jason Ford was the one. And you know, it is a big call taking off your free taker in any match.
Ball works out fine from a Cork perspective. It's Conor Lahan taken down, and the referee is going to have a word with another Tipperary defender. And Tipperary seem to be a bit concerned when you run at them. They're inclined to foul rather easily.
Yeah, well, look, the pace of that Cork attack, very, very impressive. And you know, there's going to be plenty of, the nature of this game, there's going to be plenty of twists and turns. There's 15, maybe 20 minutes to go with injury time.
Patrick Horgan with the free, and sending that straight between the posts and over the bar for his 14th point of the match. This is Conor Lahan. That was a blatant trip.
He got away with a card, I think.
He got away with a card.
That should have been a yellow card.
Should have been a yellow card. Great catch by Niall O'Mara, laying off the ball inside. Jake Morris gets his first touch and sends it across the face of the goal and wide. So, 21 points Cork, 2-21 Tipperary.
Yeah. Tipper, after hitting 3 harmless enough wides in a row, and a little bit complacent with them. They weren't doing that earlier on, and you can't afford it at this level. They're leaving Cork in the game.
Ronan Marr steps up to the challenge, gains a bit of ground and then lets fly, and it will result in another white flag being blown in the breeze here in Páirc Uí Chaoimh.
Yeah, and people ask questions about the half back line, about the 3 Mahers. That's a point each for the 3 of them. Brendan Maher, to me, is having just an unbelievable game at right half back, and the other 2 not far behind him.
Anthony Nash goes down that wing again. Plenty of Tipperary jerseys there, including Noel McGrath. Ball given away, Daniel Carney. Tim O'Mahony comes from centre half back and sends this straight between the posts and over the bar. Cork are still alive. The clock ticking towards the 60th minute. About 11 and a half minutes left in the match.
Yeah, good score from Tim O'Mahony, but Noel McGrath will be kicking himself. It's the wrong ball, put it into the feet of Bubbles too hard, and he couldn't control it, and it broke to Tim O'Mahony and over the bar.
Ball bobbling all over the place. Conor Marr gets a touch, as far as Shamie Callan thought about having a strike, but knew Daniel Carney was going to hook him. And Tipperary again send the ball wide. It's 11 wides for Tipperary. As much as they started the second half rather well, they're kind of going through a lull, but Cork are not taking advantage of it.
Yeah, it's just the last couple of minutes. Like, they were really flying and got some brilliant scores, and it's just like just took the foot off the pedal there a little bit. Really, they should be out of sight now. They should be 9-10 points up. They're 6 points. They're leaving Cork in it, and if Cork get a goal, they're right back into it.
Robbie O'Flynn has gone off. Aidan Walsh, former dual star, Young Footballer of the Year back in 2010, All-Ireland football medalist, of course, as well, goes into the Cork attack as Shane Kingston twists and turns, and his little dance produced the space and also, more importantly, created a score.
Yeah, and he seems to be struggling a bit with an ankle injury, but he's shown great leadership for a young player in the second half. He's got 3 points from play now, and he's really, the one forward is really standing up at the moment from the last 10 minutes.
Short puck out goes to Carl Barrett. His long delivery didn't quite work out. It's Niall O'Leary that's trying to get through here. Took a little bit too much out of it. Tipperary are there, Manly standing their ground. Sean O'Donoghue comes away with it. Needs a little bit of space to hit the slither. Sends it down for us, Conor Lahan. Lovely little flick up into the air. Ball down into the Cork attack. Is it possible for Cork to produce something out of this? Aidan Walsh sending it into the centre. Harnedy runs on past Patrick Horgan. Now here's the right man. Can he get inside the cover? That shoved up pass is the 11th commandment, and the referee says it's a free out. Well, now I have my doubts about that one, Michael. Let's have a look at that one again.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see. Just watch it here again. Now he gets the ball. He's thinking goal. Barrett wraps it up. He, probably stands his ground. Look at his left arm there. Like, he puts it around his neck. You can't do that. So that's a free in. You can't put your arm around the player in that situation. He was trying to run by that left shoulder. He put his arm up and he held him. That's a free.
A crucial decision just when Cork were beginning to find their rhythm. Brian Hogan takes the fray, goes for the long ball, batted away by Niall O'Leary. Daniel Carney is helping out his defence. Niall O'Mara flicks it forward. Mark Coleman is with him. Mark Coleman is the player down on his knees, and it goes out over the sideline. Sideline ball for Cork. Every strike of the ball, every decision by the referee is now crucial. We're in the final 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's vital. That was a guaranteed point, and with Horgan's power, maybe a goal chance if he wanted to go for it. So that, I think the ref has been good overall. He's been very good. He's got some of the big calls right, but that's it. And we all make mistakes. So Liam Sheedy is anxious to get on a substitute. Well, Lamar's hamstring looks to be gone.
It's Mark Keogh. It's going to be warmed up at the moment. Now instead it looks like it's going to be Willie Connors from Killadangan. Former Tipperary footballer. Has given his commitment to the Premier County Hurlers for the last number of seasons. Niall O'Mara, as Michael says, looks like to be a hamstring difficulty.
And very, very good game, particularly the second half. You know, he was very good for Tipperary. He's a big loss for them now.
And he's had a great league now. I saw him several times.
Yeah, he could be out of action now for a few weeks at a crucial time of the year.
Sideline ball this time goes to Tipperary. So Tipperary making that substitution. Willie Connors is coming on. And as Niall O'Mara makes way. Willie played in the Division 3 final for the Tipperary footballers against Louth in Croke Park in 2017. Meanwhile, it's Tipperary going to the attack, and that's over the bar.
Marty, that's a sensational score. The build-up there, the quick line ball from Noel McGrath, 1-2 with Bubbles out wire, and then he sticks it over the bar with hardly room to swing his hurl. Just an unbelievable point.
Brilliant point by Noel McGrath. It's his third of the afternoon here. And it's back to a 6-point game between these two neighbouring counties.
And Tipperary have scored 220 from play so far. Unbelievable.
Impressive by Liam Sheedy's side. Anthony Nash again going long. But they're winning the balls down that side of the field, and here comes Tipperary once more. Pumping it, and pumping it over the bar.
And we've seen brilliant scores in this match, but that is the best score. What a man. Brendan Maher just back from a serious injury. Look at this. And Cork must be looking at a different game than we're looking at. They keep hooking the ball down on top of him and he keeps winning it.
But it must have been 10 minutes ago when I said this, Michael, that I can't understand why Anthony Nash doesn't change these puck outs. It's always over towards the north stand.
It is, and you know, we can see it. Anthony Nash, his puck outs in the first half very effective, but in the second half he's continued to puck the ball down there. He's pucked a couple out over the sideline and went wrong as well. But that Brendan Maher has just been immense in the second half.
It's a beautiful day here in Cork. Look at that for a sight. Over 30,000 people packed into an arena, loving the game of hurling, loving Cork and Tipperary. As Cork introduce Declan Dalton, and the player that's going off is Daniel Carney. Throw of the dice. Brian Hogan instructing his defenders to come back and keep an eye on Daniel Dalton, who's taken up his position. He's at the edge of the square.
Yeah, good young player, this lad. A big future ahead of him.
Batted away slightly by Pádraig Maher. Comes back over towards Aidan Walsh. Picked up by Seamus Harnedy. He has to pull the trigger. Oh, back in the net! Seamus Harnedy, the captain of Cork. And they're back in the game in sunny Páirc Uí Chaoimh.
A beautiful flick up, and look at the finish to the corner of the net. Give Brian Hogan absolutely no chance. Pádraig Maher is going to be very disappointed. He went to bat that going backwards. He probably could have caught it, but look at his finish. Just a brilliant goal. And what a game it's been. First round of the championship was just an incredible game, end to end.
The drama continues. Confirmation that Mark Keogh is on. Tipperary responds straight from the puck out, and that goes over the bar. Sign always of a good team. Sign that John O'Dwyer is the man on form on this particular day. That's his 6th point of the game.
And that's a great catch. He's not a big man. He just got up, just the timing, and he hung in the air and caught that. And then again, that presence when he landed, not to hit the ball, he was going to be hooked, took the step to the right, made room and stuck it over the bar.
Anthony Nash this time goes short for his own Cadigan. Breaking ball. Picked up by Pádraig Maher. Gives it short hand pass as Tipperary go in pursuit of more scores. This one is an easy ball for Anthony Nash to deal with. Sends it straight down. 2 against 2. Ball dropping in. Patrick Horgan at the end of it. Was he fouled? That's what the Cork crowd are shouting for. Tipperary have the ball. They should have it at least. And somehow managed to get it out of the danger zone and whips it down into the Cork half of the field. Ball breaks in favour of the Douglas man, Owen Cadigan. Cadigan gives it to Newtown Shandrum, Tim O'Mahony. That's better from Cork. Making himself available is Luke Meade. Looking around, gives it back. Has to drop it in around the house. Here it comes. Slither dropping in around the square. Batted away. Tipperary have it once more. And Tipperary come away with it with Noel McGrath. Going for the long ball again. Up towards full forward line. Easy ball for Anthony Nash. Overfires Mark Coleman. Into the centre towards Dara Fitzgibbon. He'll run at the Tipperary defence and away he goes. Look at the speed. Taken down. Surely, referee doesn't blow his whistle. That's two decisions now that I would seriously question. Ball comes back into the Cork half of the field. Over this side is Luke Meade. Luke Meade looking for a little bit of support. Shane Kingston comes all the way out towards the 65-metre line. Can't control it. Again, it looks like the Cork man was fouled. The referee says play on. Ball comes back in. Battling there at cornerback is Sean O'Donoghue. Going back his own Cadigan. 31 years of age. Looks like he's 16 with the way he stepped up the speed there. That goes out for a 65 from my vantage point up here. And the umpire may well agree with
Marty,
that.
here we go again. Now here's Darragh Fitzgibbon. I think first of all he throws the ball ahead of himself. I don't think he can do that. He's fouled then. That's definitely a foul. But you see where he threw the ball.
Yeah.
He can't. He threw the ball into space. He can't do that. But that just, I don't know, he didn't give a free against him for that. So then it was a free. And then here we saw Shane Kingston being held back. It was another free. So Anthony Nash is obviously given out about the decision here, and he's after getting a yellow card. And I think the ball even previous that Patrick Horgan was inside the edge of the square. It looked to me like he was pulled down as well by Cathal Barrett. So I think Cork will be very aggrieved over those last couple of calls, and rightly so.
65 going to be taken by Noel McGrath. He's already scored 3 times. Lifting, striking. And judging by the body language as he runs back into place, he's happy enough. That's over the bar for his 4th point. And Tipperary re-established their 6-point advantage. Jack O'Connor is coming on for Cork, and he's going to replace Shane Kingston, who I think bravely played on. I think there were times when he really was struggling with an injury. And also coming on is Cian Darcy, who's a real speed merchant in the Tipperary attack, and going off is Noel McGrath. Changes being made by both managers at this stage.
He's had a great game, Noel McGrath again.
Breaking ball picked up on this occasion. Jake Morris is there, coming across is Tim O'Mahony. Rock solid at centre half back, getting past the initial defence. The Tipperary are posing, but he runs out of space. Cathal Barrett picks up the loose slither, sends it back into the Cork half of the field. Sean O'Donoghue tries to get a touch to it first. Good work here by Seamie Calnan. 2 Cork lads pursue him, and Calnan, so experienced, so cool under pressure, gives him a personal tally of a goal and 4 points. Lovely skill, lovely balance, lovely strike.
The ref has stopped the puck out again. Anthony Nash is going absolutely crazy in the goals. I don't understand why he didn't allow the puck out, but he didn't allow it. He said he hadn't blown his whistle. This is serious performance by Tipperary, Marty. In hurling, people are fickle. We were talking during the week, they've only won 3 of their last 12 league and championship matches tipped. They've been very, very poor. And I guarantee tomorrow morning they'll be talked about as All-Ireland contenders. That's the way it goes. But Mr. Sheedy, who we know well, he is some motivator, and he didn't go back for the fun of it. He's gone back to win All-Ireland and nothing else.
Well, they set down a marker today as Aidan Walsh got us the slither. Down towards Jack O'Connor from Sarsfield. Sends it back into the middle. Conor Lahan. Nothing left but to take your points, as Lahan gets his 3rd point of the game.
And there's 4 more minutes to go. Long time in hurling, still only 6 points in it. So Cork get a goal, they're still in with a chance here.
You can understand, though, Michael, now, on mature reflection, this is before perhaps the final whistle blows in 5 minutes' time, why Liam Sheedy went with this experienced team. He's given them one chance to perform, and they have performed. Luke Meade is fouled. Free.
You hear
the cheers.
Ironic cheer from the crowd.
Tim O'Mahony sends it long into the space. Coming out to gather is Declan Dalton from the Father O'Neill's club. But Tipperary have the situation under control. Pádraig Maher. Down the middle towards Cian Darcy. Given away, however. Damien Cahalane is there for the Rebels. Ball is dropped in. Seamus Harnedy pursuing it. Referee says play on. The Cork lads were protesting, but it doesn't matter a hoot because Tipperary come away with it. Good overrun here by John O'Dwyer. Good combination play. It's his 7th point in the match.
You asked me a question, Marty, a couple of minutes ago. Loyalty in sport, these are great players. They went off the boil a little bit. I said it to somebody earlier on. We were finishing up in 98, 99, 2000 with Offaly, with a team that had been on the go a long time. And when somebody has respect for you and loyalty and stands by you, it can mean an awful lot. And their fitness levels, everything has been massive today. Huge performance.
Ball into the middle for Ronan Maher. Ball bobbling around the place. Cork come away with it eventually with Tim O'Mahony. And he loses possession with a fair challenge by Carl Barrett. Spreads it over as Tipperary shoot from way out the field. Ball comes back off the post and the ball has gone wide. Well, it is an interesting point, Michael, in the sense that Liam Sheedy went back. They only won 2 out of their 11 last matches. This is before, indeed, even Liam took over. But a lot of people were expecting a lot of the Tipperary under-21s that won the All-Ireland to start. But he stuck with the team. What was it? How many did he have on the team again? It was 11?
11 from 16.
2016?
Yeah. But he will blood them over the next few weeks. He's brought on a few lads today. He had to give a card there to John McGrath. But he will blood them over the weeks to come. But he showed faith in the lads. James Barry has had a couple of poor years, been very good today. Ronan Maher gone through a bit of a tough time, very impressive. But Brendan Maher, the leadership that man brings to the team is massively impressive.
It's a fine performance by Tipperary and by Liam Sheedy. As Mark Coleman takes the free, as the ball is dropping in, and big Brian Hogan is underneath it and steps out with the out of the danger zone. Comes back for his Mark Coleman. Back in again. Cork searching for goals, and once again it's the Maher line of attack there, a line of defence. Brendan, Ronan and Paddy, between them they really have formed a formidable force. Ball comes back into the middle. Over fires Dara Fitzgibbon. Dara Fitzgibbon about to give the pass, but Tipperary chasing and pursuing it. It's Luke Meade looking around to get away from the shackles of a Tipperary defence that have been very impressive. Ball is dropping in. Conor Lahan chasing after it. Referee has blown his whistle and he's given a free in for Cork. That's the final chance for Cork, but the scoreboard, as you can see there in your TV screens, there is a wide gap. 7 points between them, and we're now even gone beyond the announced 5 minutes. It's now at the discretion of the referee. Patrick Horgan, who scored 14 points today. Remarkable performance by Patrick Horgan alone. Looks like he'll be on the losing side. Now, will he go for goal here? Here he comes. Drives it in low, stopped. As Tipperary come away with it, and come away from Páirc Uí Chaoimh on the banks of the River Lee with a victory, having beaten the home side in their own backyard in the brand new Páirc Uí Chaoimh. The pitch was absolutely fantastic. The game at times was brilliant, and some of the skill that we saw for Liam Sheedy, who also guided Tipperary to a victory when he first took charge of Tipperary back in 2007. I think it was Tipperary's first victory in Cork in 85 years, and he's done it again. He commiserates with John Myler. John Myler has to build his team to face the All-Ireland champions Limerick next Sunday. But for Tipperary to beat Cork here, it's quite significant.
Yeah, it is, Martin. To do it, what a brand of hurling they played. Fantastic. 224 from play from the 228. They got 3 frees and a 65. Just immense performance. And I was very confident all week that this is what we'd see from Tipperary. They trained really hard. I know since last November all the counties are training very hard, but I think a lot of Tipperary players and Liam Sheedy in particular are hurt by the criticism over the last 12 months, and they were out to prove a big point today. Cork will be disappointed. They have to go to Limerick next week, a huge game, and they're under pressure now, and Tipperary going out of here with massive optimism for the year ahead.
A pulsating, interesting contest, at times quite dramatic. Some of the scores were just fantastic. It ends with a victory for Tipperary, full-time score in Páirc Uí Chaoimh in the first of the Munster Championship round robin games. It's Cork, 1 goal, 24 points. Tipperary, 2 goals, 28.
Thank you, Marty. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, what a statement that is from Tipperary. Ursula, last year in the entire Munster Championship there was 1 away win. Today we've had 2.
Yeah, look at Tipperary just really pushed on in the second half, and they had leaders all over the pitch. Bubbles O'Dwyer, you know, in attack, 7 points from play, and that how he created that goal for John McGrath was just incredible. And look at, I suppose, much talk coming into the game was about Cork's pace and Tip, you know, were seemingly the slow team, but they used their intelligence today. Their half-back line really powered them through in the second half. It was like a wall of 3 Mars, and you know, they got 4 points from play in that half-back line, and they really just launched attack after attack after attack, and it's incredible. They scored 2:24 from play, and that's massive shooting, and the spread of scores right across the field was just brilliant to see.
Yeah, we keep on having to remind ourselves that there was that quantity from play, Jackie.
Yeah, it was times it was very open and it was very loose. There was also a shot one end, a shot at the other, but in fairness to Tipperary, they just drove on in the second half. They were clinical. It was a really complete performance. The full back line, which has been targeted before, very solid today. James Barry very strong at full back, right throughout the team. And the thing is, the spread of scores in the forwards.
You highlighted it before the game, like the Cork defence.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were destroyed. They were ripped.
Still their Achilles heel, like to concede 2:24 from play. You know, and like they could have had so many more scores. Like, this is a Munster Championship, and for the last 10 minutes, it just petered out into almost like a challenge match feel to it.
Look, I think you've mentioned his name a few times, but there were a couple of contenders anyway for man of the match. But was there a clear enough winner in the end?
There was, and Joanne, you know, when he's at his best, he's an absolute joy to watch, and that's John Bubbles O'Dwyer. And obviously Liam came in and gave it to him straight. I'd say, John, you're not always in the best shape. You need to be 100% right here, or you won't be part of my plans. And Bubbles has bought in, and the reward is there today. And I mean, what vision, as Ursula said, for the goal. Like, we saw some of the Cork lads in similar positions in the first half, very good players, taking the points. The ruthless element of that, like, to just say, no, there's a goal on here and this will finish it, you know. And it was rolling back the years back to 16 and before, really, there.
And I don't think you can underestimate Sheedy's influence in all of this, because if anyone's going to get the best out of this team, it's going to be Liam Sheedy. You know, most of them started their, you know, a lot of them started their career with Sheedy.
And Eamon O'Shea back.
Yeah.
On top of Tommy Dunn.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll get to all of those elements of it in a while, but the man of the match is John O'Dwyer, and he's now with Claire.
John O'Dwyer, congratulations. You're up and running with an impressive win. So important in this fight to get out of Munster.
Yeah, I suppose you can say that for every team. Every team is kind of targeting the first game. First game is massive. If you don't get your first game, you're kind of under a bit of pressure then to win your second game, you know. And you know, that's huge for us. Cork have been Munster champions for the last 2 years in a row, so you know, it's good to get a win the first day, but a long year ahead yet.
I suppose this was really a win, though, that Tip needed, given the run you've had.
Yeah, we didn't have a great year last year. You know, a couple of draws and bit by a score or two on a couple of occasions, you know. So, you know, we just went back to the drawing board, and you know, new management in and stuff like that. But you know, we just had to start working hard and get our principles right. And look, we got a good win today, but we have another massive game next week. So we just need to settle back down now tonight and go again tomorrow.
Impressive scoring throughout the team, and you contributed 7 yourself.
Yeah, it's something that we've been working on a lot in training. Like, you know, our shooting and stuff. We felt last year that we kind of let our scoring efficiency wasn't great. So, you know, we have 6 forwards and 2 midfielders, and even our half backs are good strikers of the ball and always looking for scores. And I think Ronan and Pod even got a couple of scores there today as well, and Brendan. So, you know, we've scores all over the field, and it's just good that everyone chips in.
And Liam Sheedy will be happy that to get his second term up and running with a win.
Yeah, he will, but Liam will be the first one to say that the first game is over and it's back down to work now tomorrow for match next week against Waterford. So, you know, it's a tough championship, but that's the way you want it.
Well, congratulations, John O'Dwyer. You are the Centre man of the match, and Bernard Lynch is here from Centre to make the presentation.
Well done to Bubbles, well done to Liam Sheedy as well. 9 years after he led Tip to the All-Ireland, can he do it again in 2019? More reaction next.
There's a huge change to the championship this year. The final is in Cork.
It's Ballybraden's last chance to win the school's championship.
Let ye and your hurls be inseparable.
Will they ever make the cut?
From now on, we respect every opponent.
It'd be great if we both got to the final again. Rockford versus Ballybraden, the sequel.
No holding back.
Ballybraden, the new series, starts today at 6 on RTE Junior.
Yeah, so Ballybraden following us when we're finished on the Sunday game, but over on RTE Junior instead. Here at Porky, we have a massive win for Tipperary, 228 to 124 against Cork. The key man, as we were saying, the man of the match was Bubbles O'Dwyer, and he showed obviously how he can score, but also how he can set up and
look at his efficiency with the ball today was just brilliant to see. Long distance shooting closer to the goal, and obviously then the pass he gave for John McGrath for the goal. He's just such vision, and obviously loads of space. Poor defending from Cork, but just pinpoint accuracy across the field to John McGrath, and that really set them up for the finish. His movement, as we said, we probably haven't seen him look as fit as he was today in a couple of years, and that is credit to Tip's management and their backroom team. But he can strike left and right. His intelligence here, himself and Noel McGrath, 1-2 and over the bar.
Winding back the clock, that one.
Exactly.
Was that the score of the game? That one, the combination.
The leadership he showed today was just brilliant, right from the get-go in the first half, right, to the finish, and give him half a chance and he'll pop it over the bar. And 7 points from play from one player. And he was not only the creator but the finisher as well when they needed it.
There's almost a fella like that. A lot of the Tip fans might have written off and said, "Sure, he's gone. We need these young lads in." And you see what he's after,
Well, we know one man who didn't write him off is the Tipperary manager, Liam Sheedy. He's speaking with Claire now.
Liam, a 7-point win on the opening day in Munster. You must be very pleased with that.
Yeah, very pleased there. It's a tough place to come and win. It's a difficult assignment. Obviously, they're going for 3 in a row in Munster, so we know what faced us today. But fairness to the lads, after we got beaten in the league quarter final, we regrouped and we really worked hard for the last number of weeks. And I said it all along, I was really happy with our preparation. We came buzzing and made a great start. And I thought when they came back at us and they went that point up, but I thought our reaction to get in, psychologically, just to be that point up at half time was a good place to be. And look, the goal in the second half was a massive score for us. But I thought just some of our point taking and some of our work, and just overall very, very likeable performance. I think we scored 223 or so from play. So yeah, good day at the office. Last time in 2008 it got me through to Munster final, so it's only step one in a 4-step process. So it's very, very early days. We have to go back and get ourselves ready for next Sunday again. So no real time to rest in your arms. But today was a good day for us there.
Yeah, hugely impressive spread of scores from play. Because coming into this game in the build-up, Tip's pace had very much been questioned, and your decision to go with the experienced players.
Yeah, look, the one thing I have is a very, very competitive panel. So I suppose the beauty about this is that they were well tested. We have got a fabulous group of under-21s coming, and these guys are really pushing them to the pin of their collar. So overall, it was the competitiveness that we've seen, and guys were picked on merit. And I think they showed today what they can do when they're in full flow. And as I said, full credit to Cork. They came at us numerous times, but thankfully we hung on in the finish.
In the first half, I suppose you conceded a lot of frees, which Patrick Horgan punished, obviously, but you tightened that up in the second.
Yeah, 8 points in place balls is tough, and I felt maybe some of the ball going into the inside forwards, and it was very, very hard to defend, and without something we had spoke about before the match. But I thought when we got a handle on that and the ball was going in 50-50, I thought Cahill and James and Shawnee thought they just attacked the ball outstandingly well in that second half, and they put up a block wall in front of Brian, and they did get the one goal, but thankfully, as I said, it was only the one, and we had a bit of breathing space to the finish after a wonderful contest.
Now, busy couple of weeks ahead. You've got Waterford back in Thurles next weekend. They were edged out just by a point today.
Yeah, look, that's the thing. You roll from Sunday to Sunday, and we certainly can't rest long on a roll. Like for us, it's 2 points. 2 points won't get you anywhere in this championship. So we're well aware that we've got to come and our rest and recovery. And as a lot of people might say that look, maybe this group are that bit older, it might take them a little bit longer to recover. But look, we're leaving Cork this evening with really, really good momentum, and we'll go back and do what we do best Tuesday and Friday and get our bodies right and look to bring I suppose a performance into Thurles next Sunday, because if we don't, we'll still be on 2 points.
Thanks, Liam.
Thanks, Claire. All right.
So after the first day of the 2019 Munster Hurling Championship, this is the table. Wins today for Tipperary and Clare, but the really significant things are what's about to appear at the bottom underneath that table, and that is next week's fixtures. After that defeat today, Cork have to go to the home of the All-Ireland champions next Sunday. For Tipperary, they take on Waterford, beaten today. We of course have those live here on the Sunday game for you. Anthony, listening to Liam there, because there were question marks, even though he has a huge amount of respect. When he brought Eamon O'Shea back, people were starting to question, has the game moved on a little bit more? I know it's only one game, but has he answered some of those critics?
I mean, a lot of Tip fans in the queue out there now, Joanne, delighted that he's not the Arstúrthóir, which there was a lot of talk that he was going to be of the GAA. Well, he's back, you know. There's an aura about Liam. He's a great friend of ours here, obviously. We've worked with him a number of years, and he's a top bloke, business-wise, sports-wise, and he's a high achiever, and that comes across. I think you can just look at his players there today, and they're in a great place tonight.
OK, highs for Tip, but of course lows for Cork today. Really disappointing. We know John Myler said they were targeting this game all year, and of course it didn't work out for them now. Let's go down and hear from the Cork manager now with Clare.
John, obviously not the start you wanted, especially here at home. I know you had a blow before the throw-in with losing Bill Cooper, then you went goal down, but you know you had wrestled a good bit of momentum back by half-time.
Yeah, we got it back to the point down at half-time, but you know Tipperary were more fluent. They were moving better and better support play than what we were, but we felt that we get them in at half-time, you know, we'd reorganise, resettle and that, but then you know Tipperary came out in the second half and you know they were much better than us in the second half.
And Patrick Horgan, again, hugely influential for you today. Points from frees, points from play. You're very reliant on him.
Yeah, we were too reliant on Patrick, and you know, like we missed Bill Cooper. You know, and normally our midfield comes in with 4 or 5 points. So you know that was a miss there. But you know, Tipperary just looked more fluent, you know, more mobile than us there in the second half, and you know that's it.
Do you feel you may have been awarded more frees there in that second half? Is that disappointment?
No, that's the referee's decision. That's his decision.
And back to Limerick, you have to go off to Limerick next weekend?
Yeah, we just have to reorganise now and, you know, have a chat. You know, it's disappointing performance, disappointing result, but look, we've Limerick next Sunday, and, you know, that's one of the benefits of the Munster Championship. That game is over, we move on to next week against Limerick away.
Thanks very much, John.
Thank you.
John Myler looking on the positives there. Just to finish things off, the difference in that second half, was it how Tipperary really got on top with the Cork puckouts?
Yeah, it was. They just brought an utter dominance to the half-back line. Like Ursula mentioned that they got 4 points, but they just won ball in the air. They broke it down. Noel McGrath was on the breaks, and they went from there. Cork just couldn't get their hands on the ball. Seamus Harney was their only real ball winner. Aidan Walsh, when they brought him in, he was in the full forward line. They just couldn't get any penetration. That was a wall that Tip built on and just drove on, and it got the ball in the hands of Bubble O'Dwyer, and we seen what he did. OK, it makes for a very interesting few weeks ahead, and of course we'll have it all for you. But week one of the Sunday game live is over. Thank you to Anthony, to Ursula and to Jackie as well for their time. Don't forget to join Des and the lads from 9:30 tonight for highlights of all the weekend's action in the hurling and football championships, and we're back at 1:15 next Sunday live from the Gaelic grounds. But for now, from all of us, bye bye.